This is Farm Classification Module 4. In the fourth module, we will provide an overview of how to complete an application for a leased farm. The purpose of this module is to provide further clarity on how to apply for farm class as a leased farm under Section 13 of the General Application for Farm Classification. Legislation always prevails, should there be a discrepancy between the contents of this module and the legislation. In this module, you will find that we cover a variety of topics, including the income requirements for leased farms, split classification, tenures, and what can disqualify you from farm class. A farm operation that is on leased land can qualify for farm class, provided that it meets all the requirements in the legislation. A copy of the lease must be submitted to the assessor on or before October 31st. Owners are encouraged to apply by mid-year to give staff time to complete a field inspection or request additional information to assess entitlement to farm classification. The owner and not the leasee must apply for farm classification, except for cases of crown leased land. The holder of a crown lease is considered an owner for assessment purposes. The crown lease holder is authorized to sign the general application for farm classification and will receive assessment and tax notices for the leased land. If you have any questions about leased farms beyond this module, please consult a farm appraiser at BC Assessment. Here are the income requirements for farm classification. Depending on the size of the farming operation, there are different income requirements. Generally, farms that are less than 0.8 hectares, 1.98 acres, need to meet the threshold of $10,000 per year. Owners are encouraged to speak to the farm appraiser, as each farm can be unique as to how to qualify for farm classification. To qualify or to continue to qualify land as farm, owners must ensure that the assessor always has a copy of the current lease document. The deadline to submit the lease document is October 31st. Farm classification will be denied unless a reasonable level of farm activity occurs on a leased parcel. If a farmer signs a lease in July, an application can be made that October, even without revenues. Split classification can be complex. Therefore, we recommend that you contact a farm appraiser at BC Assessment to discuss details about your property. However, this slide demonstrates a generic example of a split class property. If a portion of the property is leased to a farmer and is used for production, that portion is eligible for farm classification. If the remaining area is used for residential purposes other than a farmer's dwelling, it will be classified and valued as residential property. The reasons for disqualification of a leased property from farm might include those shown on this slide. The minimum income requirements, qualifying agricultural use, and a copy of the lease are all important in order to qualify for farm class as a leased farm. In the case where a lease expires, or 7 years has passed since the start of the lease and the owner has not submitted a current lease, removal from farm class may result. The holder of a crown lease is considered an owner for assessment purposes. The crown lease holder is authorized to sign the general application for farm classification and will receive assessment and tax notices for the leased land. As you are considered the owner in a crown lease, you will have to complete the general application for farm classification form.